Hey everyone, today we're going to be working on a sapphire soap. If you follow me on Facebook, you may have noticed I've been working on getting each birthstone made, or at least one birthstone representative for each month. I know several months have more than one option. Maybe they all do, I'm not sure. But I'm going with the most widely recognized birthstones and trying to get by the end of, let's say by next summer, have one of each done as far as a tutorial goes. I have some of the crystals I had done already because I do many crystals. That's one of my favorite things to make, as you may know, but I was never specifically trying to do birthstones, and now that's kind of what I'm working on, is just having a completed set of the soaps and the tutorials that go along with them. I will probably eventually be putting them in sets, like allowing people to buy a 3-pack and choose their own, or 3 or 4-pack or something like that, and choose their own in case they want one for each member of their family, something like that. But for today, we're making sapphire. I've been really behind, and I was doing I did August's at the very end of August. It kind of defeats the purpose. But finally catching up. So we're working on sapphire, and as you see, usual, I'm at least recently usual. I'm trying to get all of the ingredients and everything listed up on the screen in text. And by ingredients, I mean the types of materials I'm using. Typically, we don't call Melt and Pour soap a recipe, even though sometimes there are different things added. It's usually a soap base with just colorant and fragrance added. Real quick, speaking of colorants added, oh, here it comes. But the little dropper that you saw me put the little drop of liquid stained glass dye in, I have a couple things to say about that real quick. One of them is, yes, it is liquid dye, and it is a liquid dye that will migrate, but it really barely added. It just added a little bit of depth to that lighter blue color that I'm working on, and there's no way it's going to influence that darker blue in a way that's going to show up. That's why I did it. I just wanted a little bit more of a deeper color. It actually shows up better in person than in the video with that, but it did add a little bit of depth to that blue. The other thing I wanted to say is that that janky little bottle of the liquid dye in blue that you always see me using, I haven't explained that yet. I keep wanting to, keep meaning to, and I keep forgetting every time. So all it is I dropped the bottle it came in, because you've seen all of my other, I believe, or most of my other 2-ounce bottles that I ordered from Wholesale Supplies Plus. In the videos, I've showed them before. They're a regular kind, almost like a, they're a dropper bottle, but they're similar to a condiment bottle, but a little smaller. Anyway, they, they're okay to work with. They're a little messy. So you have to be kind of careful and clean the tops a lot, and just be careful with how you don't want to really squeeze hard. You just want to let it drop out. But I dropped the bottle, and it kind of broke the top and dyed my toe blue at the same time. That was fun. That was about a year ago, I guess, maybe more, which shows you how concentrated that blue is, because I have had that for some time, and that's the one I use probably more than any other, and I still have quite a bit of it. Anyway, I wasn't about to lose that, because it didn't all spill, just a little bit of it, enough to dye my toe blue. But the bottle was broken. I think the top of it broke somehow, and it just wasn't going to work to contain it anymore, and I put it in a dropper bottle, and that works just fine. Just kind of wanted to explain that, because it looks gross. I mean, just has a plain old brown craft paper label on it with me writing blue or blue dye or something like that in Sharpie, and it's gotten all kinds of stuff on it, and no matter how much I clean it and disinfect it, it's stained, so it just looks gross, but it isn't as gross as it looks. So there's really not a lot to say about this soap until I get to the cut. There's one thing I wanted to kind of point out in this, but I will say, if you are interested in making swirl soaps, please take a look at my swirl playlist. I have a playlist talking about different swirls. This is just a single mold, a small mold, 2-color swirl. And the basic rules for that are keep your temperatures really low. And you do want to pour while it's still liquid-ish. You don't want to let it set up fully. I mean, you could do it as a layer, but then it'd be a little tricky because you'd have to use hotter soap to get it to stick layer by layer, and then it's more of a layered swirl. But anyway, keep it fluid, but also pour it at a really cool temperature. And I can't say exactly what temperature will work for you because I don't know what soap base you're using. It depends. Depends greatly on what soap base you're using. I took these down to what it said was, it said like 116, 114, different point. It was lying. And it's not that the thermometer was lying. It's just that these little itty bitty 4-ounce cups really aren't made for this, for what I'm using them for. They're more made to mix your colors and pour them in. And I use them for pictures when I'm just doing something little and tiny, or I have to pour a very small amount of soap and have some control over it. I also measured incorrectly because I originally was going to use 3 colors. And then when I ended up switching to 2, I didn't change the ounces that I needed for total, because I really was going to try for 2 soaps. Anyway, it's just more of a demo soap for me to test. Do I like this for the sapphire? Do I want this to represent September? So sometimes I'm just experimenting and playing around, and that's what this was. And I did like the result. I like the way it ended up. So I am keeping this design for it. But I think the thing I really wanted to show you is coming up fairly soon when I start cutting it. Because I found, and it's nothing super new, but I kind of figured out with this bar, with this shape, which is not quite plain rectangle. It's more, is it not trapezoidal? No. But it's got... it's smaller at the top. The top rectangle is smaller than the bottom. So it kind of fans out like and I know there's a word for it, but it's not coming to my mind. As you know, sometimes my brain does not think of the word I need in the moment. That's just part of me. So sort of here you see me doing it, but I think on this cut I'm really, this isn't the good one. This is me trying to kind of cut off the back where it, as the soap is cooling, as you're pouring, which it does when you're pouring a swirl and pouring at low temperatures, the top sometimes can get a little bumpy or not super smooth. And so I was just trying to kind of even some of that off and take off some of the edges that I didn't like. And as I was doing that, it kind of set me up for what I do on the other side when I flip it. And I really like that particular cut with this particular soap mold. This is a brambleberry mold, by the way, and I don't know the name of it, but I can probably look that up and maybe put a link if they still have it. I think it's a fairly old mold because I didn't buy it. I got it on some type of a D-stash, or it was a D-stash purchase, wasn't a trade. Anyway, you see the, I don't know if you can, you can see the cut I'm making. I don't know what it's called, but I like the way it came out. It kind of puts just a different twist on it. I've seen beads cut this way. I've seen other gemstones cut this way. And I really like the way it works with this mold. Now, if I had started off doing that and I did it on the back, the whole thing would have turned out a little better. But it still works out. I'm still able to kind of replicate the back, but still make it look like it's intentionally not perfect. I think a lot of larger larger gemstones that are kind of rough cut aren't usually aiming for perfection, but more to show off the look of the stone, like, you know, the beauty of the different parts of it, cut off the parts that might be not as desirable. And that is one of the cuts that they do for the free, kind of more freestyle. Anyway, I have a little one here. I do go ahead and cut the half soap that I ended up with because I mismeasured and forgot about the fact that I wasn't using 3 colors anymore, just 2. And I'm able to make it look sort of like the other, but you really need the thicker bar to do that complete cut and make it look right. What else did there was something else about this particular soap I wanted to tell you. I showed you all the colors, showed you the fragrance, showed you the base. Oh, the base. That's it. Why am I mixing beautiful, beautiful premium crystal clear with a basic clear? Well, because Wholesale Supplies Plus is out of the premium crystal clear. And while I do have some, and I do have some ways to purchase more, it is at a much higher cost than what it normally would be. And it's at a time in the season where I'm wanting to design more soaps for Halloween, fall, Christmas, etc. So I'm kind of hoarding that, but I didn't want to just use the basic. And that's because I really just don't care for the feel of it. It's not bad. It's just not as nice as the other. Not as nice as the extra clear, not as nice as the crystal clear. And yes, the crystal clear definitely has more detergent in it than those, and that may be part of what it is. Keep in mind it's a mild detergent. My skin actually does better with the premium crystal clear than the others. But I thought if I did like half and half, it'd be a good mix, and it would save me about half of what I would be using for this. That's another reason I was just kind of making a small number here, is because I'm really not ready to put them up on my website and sell any kind of sets or anything. I won't do that until I have the whole set of birthstones. So I may just add it to my crystal collection, but yeah, I'm not anticipating huge numbers of sales where I have to make these in large numbers right now. Anyway, they work well together because they are the same brand. That's usually a good indication that you can melt them together and use more than one soap at the same time. You have to watch when you're moving company to company because the melting points and ingredients can be so different. But it worked well for this. I hope you like the design. I really enjoyed finding or kind of discovering, and it's not a new cut, but I mean for me to discover how to do it in my soaps. I really was pleased with the way it came out and hope you like it. Hope you learned something. This is kind of a quick one because I'm just doing this. It's fairly easy soap. If you have any questions, you know where to find me. If you're interested in more of these, please like and subscribe, and I hope to see you soon. Have a great day. Thanks. Bye.